This is the School Success Podcast, a podcast for school leaders to learn from other school leaders what's working and what's not, and to get inspiration and encouragement, as well as strategies to grow school enrollment, connect with families, retain teachers, recruit teachers, and everything in between. You guys are heroes, and I cannot thank you enough for pouring into this next generation that's coming behind us. My goal is you will take at least one thing away from every episode that you can take back to your school to make it better than it is right now. Please enjoy the School Success Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by the Herzog Foundation.
Time for school.
Hey, school success makers. Welcome to another edition of the School Success Podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Slater, and we're back for week 5 of this. I think it's going to be 8 weeks. I keep saying that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be 8-week series on marketing and enrollment because, of course, we are in the great time and season of enrollment season for all of you schools. So what better thing to do than have a series that's going to help you guys do some things that are going to help you get more butts in seats, get a waiting list if you don't have one, and then grow your waiting list if you are at capacity. And so if you haven't listened to the 4 previous episodes, of course, I encourage you to go back and listen to all of those. They don't necessarily build off of each other, but they all are very helpful in different seasons and different areas of where your school might be. So just go back, look at the titles and see if maybe that's a good fit for you. I'll kind of give you a quick recap if you haven't seen those before. For week 1, we talked about surveying families. If you guys are not currently doing that, please survey your families at least once a year. Gives you an idea of how you're doing as a school so you can make those improvements. I know we don't want the negative feedback, but ideally you really do, guys, because you want to improve that. And we kind of talk all about that in episode 1. And then number 2, we talk about doing like ideal family. Like who is that target persona for you as a school? Of who are you wanting to target to get into your school? Because if you don't know who you're supposed to target, then how are you supposed to market to them? Because you don't know who they are. And it's too broad. You don't want to do that wide of a net to get people in. You want to use a fishing pole instead of a ginormous net to grab a whole bunch of ones you don't want. All right. And then week 3, we talked about reviews. They're so important. You need to get them. If you don't have them, you need some more. Okay. So go talk about reviews and go back and listen to episode 3, all about reviews, because you do need them. People are looking at them. So make sure that you have good ones and you have a lot of them. And then last week for week 4, we talked about flanking. Just more so, usually we naturally will go, oh, this school has that program. We are going to do that program too. Instead of figuring out what do you do different that is maybe better than the other schools that you can kind of just focus in on and say, hey, this is who we are. And maybe it's creating something that's different than what other schools are offering. So you kind of stand out instead of blending in, which a lot of times we do Me Too branding where we just kind of blend in with everybody else. Oh, we do that too. We do that too. Instead of saying, what is the one thing that you guys are specific about that is different than the other schools that are out there? All right. So if you're interested in either of those, please go back, listen to them. They're all around the 10-minute mark. I know with our awesome partners and sponsors of the podcast might make it a little bit longer, but I'm trying to keep these around 10 minutes. So quick read or quick listen. And if you guys are like me, I listen to all my podcasts on 1.5 speed. So it's a little bit quicker. So it can be below 10 minutes. All right. For today, we're on episode 5. And this is going to be a fun one. I might get some actual pushback on this one because typically I do, depending on what side of the aisle I am on this one. No, we're not talking about politics, but we are talking about if you should list your tuition on your website. So of course, this is very specific to the private schools that are listening. I know the public schools and the charter schools that are listening, a little different because obviously you guys, you don't have to list that on there. It is what it is in your school for what you're going to get from the state. But for the private schools who obviously do have to charge tuition, there's a big debacle of like, okay, do I tell them our tuition is $10,000 or $20,000, or do I not list it and make them inquire to this and onto the site? Now, there's lots of things to talk about inside of this. I will give you guys my thoughts on this and give you guys probably what's happening inside of many families and parents' brains as they're going to your website to inquire and show interest in your school. Hey, school success makers, Mitchell here. I just want to take a really quick break from the show to give a big, huge shout out to the Herzog Foundation. I absolutely love the Herzog Foundation. I've been friends and partners with them for a couple years now, but we're bringing it to a whole new level. And I'm excited to share that our very own School Success podcast is now featured on the Herzog Foundation podcast network. The Herzog Foundation is a powerhouse of resources designed to support schools like yours, from free training events through the Herzog Foundation Institute to their incredible online news publication, The Lion, and of course, our new podcast, Home. They have everything you need to stay informed and inspired. And if you're dreaming of starting your own Christian school or co-op, don't miss their online course, Schoolbox. It's a fantastic resource to help you get started on the right foot. At School Success, we're proud to partner with the Herzog Foundation to bring you these valuable tools and insights. So visit herzogfoundation.com to explore all they have to offer. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on these amazing opportunities for growth and success. And I love all the people over there, and I know you guys will too. So please go check them out, and you won't be disappointed. Now, back to the show. So let's talk about both sides. Okay, so you got a lot of schools. We have clients that they want the tuition on the website. And we'll say, hey, we'd rather you not, and we give them reasons why. But of course, at the end of the day, if you want your website to have the tuition, then put the tuition on there. But I'm going to give you guys some pros, cons, something to think about in all of this. So we're going to use the fun example. Let's say your tuition is $10,000 a year. I think that's a good average. It's an easy number to work with too. So let's say you're a school and your tuition's around $10,000. So here's what's going to happen if you put this on your website publicly for those to see it. You're going to have those that are more wealthy, that can afford more and are wanting to spend more because they associate a higher tuition with potentially a better school or better education for their son or daughter. And so what's going to happen? They go there and they go, $10,000? Man, that's a cheap school. I'm going to go to somewhere else that is more expensive. So you might potentially push people away that would be able to spend more at your school. But then you go, okay, well, maybe that's fine. I got the other ones that are on there. But then you also have the opposite that's going to happen. You have those that maybe can't afford a private education or don't think that it's accessible for them to be able to go to a private school. And so maybe they're showing interest. They saw your ads. They've heard about it from their friends and family, heard about it at church or wherever they heard about the school. So they go, you know what? Let me check it out. Let me see. Maybe we can do this. And they go there and they go, $10,000. Oh my goodness, we could never afford $10,000. And so they go, we'll just have to go back to public school, charter school, homeschool, whatever it is. And so they're out. So then you're only kind of messing with this middle ground. And you got the people that are going, we can do that. Let's make it work. Boom, they're in for 10,000. But then you also have the other people that go, well, I can't really do 10. Can you do 8? And you might have some financial aid in there. And you get some people that are lower and then there. But you kind of just ostracize two complete demographics that you could have potentially had at your school if you did things a few different ways. So here's what I'm suggesting to you guys: to not have your tuition on your website. And so what that ends up doing is people have to inquire to get that information. So this does a couple things for you. They're inquiring. So you're automatically now getting a lead. You're getting the person's contact information to be able to follow up with them if need be with email or phone, whatever you end up getting. You do need to make sure your staff is properly trained to be able to talk about this in a very intelligent way when people call in. So what you don't want, somebody calls in and they go, how much is tuition? The person goes, it's $10,000. And they go, thanks, click. Okay, it kind of defeated the purpose of what we were trying to do. Somebody calls in and you go, hey, how much is your tuition? It's like, hey, I'm so glad you asked. So the base is, this is how every school will do this a little bit differently. We go, that's awesome. Hey, great question. Can I get your information? I can send something over to you. Would you want it through email or through text? Oh, I want it through email. Perfect. I'm going to send you a breakdown because our tuition, it starts at $10,000, but we have tuition aid that 50% of people get, and we have $200,000 in tuition aid. Are you interested in getting verification for that? And they go, oh, I didn't know you had tuition aid. And again, hopefully, not every school has this, but hopefully you have that to be able to continue that conversation with somebody. Because what you want to do, you don't want to use the word affordable, saying our school is affordable. You want to use the word accessible. Our school is accessible to those that are interested in wanting to inquire and to go to the school. And so it's all about how you frame this. But if you never have the opportunity to talk to them, then people are automatically going to put something in their mind about who you are as a school to them. If you're too expensive, maybe you're too cheap, and you're never going to have the opportunity to talk to them because they're buying strictly on price. Now we can get into this, the nitty gritty of this more and more. I will encourage you guys in about a month, we're going to have an episode you guys are going to absolutely love. We interview a man named Jim McKenzie. He's become a friend of mine who is in the industry, and we kind of dive into this a lot deeper. So make sure you tune back in. I think that one will air. It's going to air right after we're done with this marketing and enrollment series. But you guys are not going to want to miss that one because we go a little bit more deeper in some of these pieces of marketing and enrollment for schools. Hey, I just want to take a really quick break from the podcast to highlight one of our amazing partners and sponsors, ClassReach. If you're a new school administrator or founder and are struggling to keep up with all the hassles of planting a new school, like collecting tuition, communicating with parents, or handling student data, then you need ClassReach. ClassReach is the all-in-one software that helps with everything from admissions and tuition to classroom management and parent communications. Sign up for a free consultation with one of their school specialists and see how ClassReach can help your school grow today. You guys can check them out online, classreach.com. They are a kingdom-minded company, and I love their leadership team there. I've become friends with a lot of them. They truly are a great company. I support them, and I love them, and you guys will love them too. Check them out at classreach.com. Now, back to the show. But for you guys, my goal is you always take at least one thing from each episode that you can take back to your school. So this is one thing going, okay, maybe you're going, all right, Mitchell, you made some really good points. Maybe you're right. Maybe we'll try it. That's what I'd love you to do. Here's what I want you guys to do. You know what's cool about a website? It's digital. So you know what? You don't have to do it forever. It's not like you're printing a book and you're stuck with that book. If you guys are on the fence, just try it. Take it off for a month to 3 months and see if your leads go up. See if you have people inquire to the school more to get that information and see if it's worth it for you. If all else fails, if you're going, yeah, we didn't like it, it didn't work, and if you really need to, add it back to your website. But we have seen clients time and time again, they take it off and they get more leads because they get more inquiries to people that are saying, hey, we're interested in your tuition. And now they get to have that conversation and potentially get them in for a tour or an academic consultation where they come in and say, let's talk about our tuition aid. Let's talk about how we can get you a part of this school. Again, ton more can go into this in all this whole subject, but I want to give you guys something to kind of go, oh, that's a really good point. Maybe we should do that for our website. And all I'm looking for you guys to do is to try it. If you're on the fence, try it, and you can always add it back when you're done. But you want to make sure that people know that it's accessible, that you can find a way for them to get in. And again, is it going to be a perfect fit for everybody? No, of course it's not going to be a perfect fit for everybody, but it's something I want you guys to at least sit down with your leadership team or your board and see, is this something we want to try and have it taken off of our website? So I hope that was helpful. And if you guys have questions, of course, please reach out to us and our team. There's a couple ways to do that. It would make it really simple. Of course, you can reach out to us through our website, schoolsuccessmakers.com, and send us a message, or I'm kind of going backwards in all of this, but we have 3 free resources, if you guys don't know that yet, here at School Success. And one of them, I'm skipping here. So we're going to go to the community piece. If you guys are not yet a part of our free Facebook community called School Success Makers, you could go and be a part of that. And that's where you can ask questions like this. If you guys are stuck on maybe a marketing or enrollment question or just a school question in general, I'm not saying I have all the answers to all these questions you might have, but we have other school leaders that are in that community, and they might have the answer to a question you have. So if you have a question on one of these episodes or something else you're dealing with in your school, please go join that community, completely free. And I want you guys to ask those questions and connect with other school leaders in there because, hey, it's really good to have community. We all need that in our lives. So go join that community. And the other 2 that I want to mention to you guys, of course, you're listening to it. It's the podcast. We're dropping episodes every single week on Monday morning. We want to make sure you guys are not missing those. So subscribe if you haven't. And if you love what we're doing, we would love a 5-star review from you. That would mean a lot to myself and my team. And then last but not least, on our website, schoolsuccessmakers.com, in the right-hand corner currently is a button called School Success Report. It is a weekly newsletter we send out to all of our email lists that our team has put together with articles and different things that help you become a better school leader and a teacher. So make sure you are getting that every week and you're not missing out. So we're wanting you to grow and get better every single week. And that newsletter will be a piece to be able to help you guys with that. So, I've gone over the 10 minutes today, so I better stop talking now. So we'll be back here with week 6 next week for another episode of the School Success Podcast. We'll see you then. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Herzog Foundation.